I live-streamed myself unboxing the birthday gift my boyfriend gave me. But all I found inside were cheap packing materials, and half a bag of leftover spicy chips. My roommate Sarah burst out laughing beside me. "Emma, I really admire you for staying with such a cheap guy." Facing the mockery from thousands of viewers, I angrily broke up with my boyfriend. 3 years later, I saw Sarah and my ex-boyfriend's wedding photos on social media. She posted proudly, "To be with my rich boyfriend." I secretly switched the gift he meant for my roommate, successfully breaking them up. I'm the smartest woman ever. Devastated, I got into a car accident and died. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day before the live stream. Sarah was stretching her neck, asking me, "Emma, did your boyfriend's gift arrive yet?" The pain of being crushed was still lingering in my body. I snapped back to reality. Sarah was already reaching for the package on my desk. "It's pretty heavy. Your boyfriend didn't put a bunch of rocks in there, did he?" Sarah joked, her eyes full of naked disdain. I suppressed the deep hatred in my eyes, remembering that at this time in my previous life, my boyfriend and I had only been dating for a week. He always dressed so plainly that I had no idea he was actually from a wealthy family. Sarah had always thought I was dating a poor guy. She constantly showed off the $10 bubble tea her boyfriend bought her, always putting down my boyfriend. She kept telling me to stick with my broke boyfriend. It wasn't until she secretly opened my boyfriend's birthday gift that she suddenly changed her tune and started pushing me to break up. In my previous life, if she hadn't fanned the flames so hard, I wouldn't have stubbornly broken up without even asking for an explanation. Rage burned in my heart, but I kept my face calm. I took the gift box from the desk and put it in the drawer below. Birthday gifts should be opened on the actual birthday. Tomorrow, I'll live stream it and see what he got me. Though I'm guessing it's just some cheap snacks or something. We're all students after all. Not like your boyfriend who spends big $9 for Starbucks without even blinking. Hearing this, my roommate's face showed a hint of superiority. Her boyfriend was a greasy middle-aged guy from off-campus who spent $2,000 of his $4,000 salary on her. Sarah never hid this fact. Every day she loudly discussed in our dorm the benefits of dating someone 10 years older, mature and caring. The rest of us could never find guys like that. After I changed the subject, Sarah finally stopped obsessing over the gift box. I breathed a sigh of relief and went to shower. When I came out, I opened the door to find Sarah blocking my way. She was twisting her dry hair, staring at me intensely. "Something's wrong. Why did you suddenly start praising my boyfriend? You're not falling for my man, are you? I'm warning you, being a homewrecker brings bad karma." I felt dizzy. In my previous life, I would have definitely started fighting with her right now. But having seen her true evil nature, I could only go along with her for now. I laughed. "Of course not. Not every woman is as lucky as you. I'm just a little envious." Sarah looked suspicious. "Really? More real than gold." Sarah was finally satisfied. "All right then, but don't lose hope. I'll ask my Chris if he has any suitable friends to introduce you to. Though finding someone as good as my Chris might be impossible." I suppressed the urge to roll my eyes and went along with her. How could I deserve someone that good? I'm lucky enough just keeping my poor boyfriend. Sarah snorted coldly. "At least you know your place." Finally got rid of her. I let out a long breath and started planning in my head. If I hid my boyfriend's gift early or opened it beforehand, I could avoid tomorrow's livestream disaster. But if I did that, wouldn't Sarah's crimes from the previous life be forgiven? Thinking about how Sarah became my boss through connections after getting together with my ex-boyfriend in my previous life. How she led the workplace bullying against me every day, causing me to develop depression at such a young age. How could I let her off so easily? I dried my hair while thinking of a strategy. That night, I went to bed early as usual. Around 2 a.m., I heard rustling sounds from the bed across from me. Seeing Sarah approaching, I immediately pretended to sleep. She walked confidently to my lower bunk. I watched her take out scissors and pull out a package from under my desk, then cut open the tape. Inside were stacks of crisp red bills. Even I almost gasped along with Sarah, using cash as packing material. How ridiculously wealthy. No wonder Sarah had pushed so hard for me to break up in my previous life. Watching her excitedly take out bill after bill, I felt happy too. 100, 200, 3,000, enough for a criminal case. I smiled as she dug out the iPhone bundle and skincare sets from the bottom. Each item was worth a fortune. After she satisfied herself by taking everything from the box and replacing it with cheap packing materials and spicy chips, I contentedly turned off my hidden camera. The next morning, seeing Sarah's empty bed, I knew she couldn't wait to go spend the money. Before dinner, Sarah returned to the dorm. Her face was glowing like she'd won the lottery. Looking at the latest iPhone in her hands, I deliberately asked, "New phone?" It was just a casual question. But Sarah almost jumped with excitement. "My husband bought it for me." "What? Are you so jealous you're trying to interrogate me?" Her strange reaction made our other roommate Jessica look over. Emma was just asking casually, "Why are you reacting so strongly?" Sarah glared back. "Who's reacting strongly? I really envy people like you with such thick skin. You can't even hear when someone's being sarcastic." Jessica rolled her eyes and turned away. Sarah rummaged through her bag and picked out a small skincare sample to hand to me. "Emma, honestly, those skincare products you use are basically like putting water on your face. This is a special gift my husband bought for you guys. You use half, then give the rest to Jessica. Remember, don't secretly use more than your share." She looked smugly at the affordable skincare products on my desk. "This is your first time using luxury brands, right? Remember to use it sparingly." I really didn't know who had scraped away most of my face cream on her first day in the dorm. I smiled and asked, "That's so nice, Sarah. I'm really happy for you. Now that you have your own skincare products, you finally won't steal mine anymore, right?" Jessica put down her phone and looked over with a strange expression. Before Sarah could explode, I grabbed my bag and headed out the door. I had afternoon classes and was almost late. The afternoon political science class was held in a large lecture hall with over 100 students. Near the end of class, the professor suddenly said, "Speaking of which, today is a special day." I was packing my bag when I suddenly felt something terrible was about to happen. The next moment, the professor smiled brightly, "Let's all wish Emma Wilson a happy birthday." As she spoke, my photo appeared on the big screen, an extremely unflattering candid shot, so distorted that even my mother might not recognize me. After a brief silence, the auditorium erupted in laughter. "Who is this person? They look so weird. Isn't this our school's little influencer Emma Wilson? Without filters and beauty apps, this is what she really looks like. I can't handle this. I'm taking a screenshot to show Emma's fans. She's absolutely hideous." Someone realized this was going viral and started live streaming. A college class exposing an influencer's real face was explosive content. Within 2 minutes, the live stream had 2,000 viewers. Soon, memes made from my ugly photo were flooding the comments. I usually had 5,000 followers as a small influencer, posting dance videos and daily life content. Now masses of people were flooding my comment sections with my ugly photos, mocking me as a disgusting internet rat. The professor wasn't surprised by the students' reaction. She clearly knew this photo shouldn't be in the presentation. But she did it anyway. It was intentional. "Everyone quiet down. Don't personally attack or mock your fellow students' appearance," she called out half-heartedly, but made no move to turn off the presentation. I watched this scene calmly. In my previous life, this was the moment everything began to collapse. Back then, I had been humiliated so badly that I ran out of the lecture hall in tears. The live stream spread across campus overnight. My followers dropped by the thousands. My confidence shattered. And the person who had arranged it all? Sarah. After my rebirth, I'd spent days piecing everything together. The professor didn't even know me personally. Someone had slipped that photo into her presentation folder and labeled it, "Birthday surprise for student Emma Wilson." There was only one person in the dorm obsessed enough to do something like that. Sarah. This time, however, I wasn't running. I slowly raised my hand. "Professor." The room quieted slightly. The professor smiled awkwardly. "Yes, Emma?" I stood up. "Can you tell everyone who submitted that photo for today's presentation?" The smile on her face froze. The students immediately became interested. "Yeah." "Who submitted it? Was this planned?" The professor hesitated. It was provided by one of your friends. I nodded. Then perhaps we should see the email. Her expression changed completely. The projector screen was still connected to her laptop. The students instantly started cheering. Show us. Show the email. Transparency. The pressure mounted. Finally, unable to refuse, the professor opened her inbox. The sender's name appeared on the screen. Sarah Johnson. The lecture hall exploded. What the hell? Her roommate. That's vicious. Who sends their friend's ugly photo to a professor? The live stream comments instantly changed direction. So the birthday surprise was fake? That's actually bullying. Poor Emma. Sarah's behavior is disgusting. I calmly sat back down. The professor hurriedly closed the email. But it was too late. Thousands of screenshots had already been taken. Just then my phone vibrated. Sarah was calling. I rejected it. She called again. Rejected. Again. Rejected. Finally a message arrived. Emma. Why did you expose me? I nearly laughed. Expose her? She had exposed herself. The class ended shortly afterward. As I walked out of the building, Sarah came sprinting across the campus. Her face was pale. Emma. She grabbed my arm. What are you doing? I gently pulled away. What am I doing? You're ruining me, she shouted. Students nearby immediately slowed down to watch. I smiled. Sarah, weren't you just trying to celebrate my birthday? Her mouth opened and closed. No words came out. The spectators started whispering. She's definitely guilty. Look at her reaction. That's embarrassing. Sarah's face turned red. Then she suddenly switched tactics. Tears appeared instantly. Emma, I was only joking. A joke. I tilted my head. Like opening someone else's package in the middle of the night? The color drained from her face. For the first time, genuine panic appeared in her eyes. What package? I pulled out my phone. Good question. Then I pressed play. The hidden camera footage appeared on the screen. There was Sarah, sneaking to my desk at 2 a.m., cutting open my package, removing stack after stack of cash, taking the expensive gifts, replacing everything with garbage. The surrounding students gasped. Sarah looked like she'd been struck by lightning. You recorded me? Of course. I smiled. People who respect boundaries don't need to fear cameras. The crowd immediately erupted. She stole from her roommate. That's theft. Call the police. How much money was in there? Sarah's legs nearly gave out beneath her. She lunged toward me. Delete it. I stepped back. No. For the first time she understood. I wasn't the Emma she remembered. I wasn't the girl who would cry and accept whatever humiliation came my way. Her voice trembled. Emma, please. At that moment, another voice interrupted. Emma. The crowd parted. A tall young man was walking toward us. Simple white shirt. Black pants. No visible luxury brands. Yet the moment he appeared, the atmosphere changed. It was Ethan. My boyfriend. In my previous life, the man I had foolishly thrown away. His gaze swept over Sarah, then landed on me. Are you okay? The concern in his eyes was genuine. Something tightened in my chest. In my previous life, after our breakup, I had never even given him the chance to explain. Not once. Before I could answer, Sarah suddenly rushed toward him. Ethan. She burst into tears. Emma is framing me. The surrounding students looked at her as though she were insane. The evidence had literally been recorded. But Sarah didn't care. She desperately grabbed Ethan's sleeve. Ethan, believe me. I've always cared about you. The moment those words left her mouth, Ethan frowned. Slowly, carefully, he removed her hand from his sleeve. Then he said something that made her world collapse. Who are you? The crowd burst out laughing. Sarah's face went completely white. Ethan continued calmly. I've met you twice. Both times you insulted my girlfriend. So why would I believe you over her? Sarah looked like she couldn't breathe. In my previous life, she had successfully stolen everything from me. My future. My career. My relationship. But now? The game hadn't even started. And she was already losing. Unfortunately for Sarah, this was only the beginning. Sarah's face twisted. The crowd's laughter echoed around her. For a few seconds, she simply stood there shaking. Then she snapped. Completely. You're lying. She pointed at me with trembling fingers. That money should have been mine. The entire courtyard fell silent. Even Ethan looked stunned. Realizing what she'd just said, Sarah hurried to cover her mouth. Too late. What do you mean it should have been yours? Someone asked. Sarah's eyes were bloodshot. She looked at the students, then at Ethan, then at me, and suddenly years of jealousy exploded out of her. Because she doesn't deserve any of it. Her scream echoed across the campus. She's average. She's poor. She's stupid. I'm better than her. The crowd collectively backed away. Sarah pointed at Ethan. You were supposed to choose me. Ethan blinked. I've spoken to you twice. Exactly. Sarah shrieked. Twice was enough. The silence afterward was deafening. Even the livestream comments seemed speechless. Then the viewers started flooding the screen. She's insane. This can't be real. Is this a TV drama? Someone save that man. Sarah wasn't finished. Years of obsession poured out. She admitted everything. The package theft. The fake birthday prank. The anonymous rumors. The messages she'd sent from burner accounts. The nasty comments she'd left on my videos. Every ugly thing she'd hidden. All while dozens of phones recorded. By the time campus security arrived, she was practically giving a criminal confession. And then things got worse. Much worse. Because the police investigation uncovered something nobody expected. The cash she'd stolen? Most of it was already gone. Sarah had spent it. Every cent. The luxury skincare. Gone. The phone. Gone. Designer bags. Gone. Restaurant bills. Gone. And because she had posted half of it online, investigators had a beautiful digital trail. She was charged. Expelled. Sued. And then Chris found out. Turns out the mature and caring boyfriend she'd bragged about wasn't mature at all. He was married. With 2 children. And a wife who possessed the fury of 1,000 sons. The moment she discovered Sarah, all hell broke loose. The wife sued Chris. Chris lost his job. His family left him. His savings disappeared into legal fees. Then he sued Sarah for dragging him into the scandal. Sarah sued him back. The lawsuits multiplied like rabbits. At one point there were so many court filings that even the lawyers were confused. Meanwhile, Ethan's family lawyers quietly finished their own case. The theft judgment against Sarah was enormous. Interest accumulated. Collection notices followed. Bank accounts frozen. Credit destroyed. Future wages garnished. Her financial life became a smoking crater. But Sarah still refused to admit defeat. For months she posted online. Rant after rant. Conspiracy after conspiracy. Claiming I had brainwashed the campus. Claiming Ethan's family controlled the government. Claiming the judges were part of a secret anti-Sarah organization. Her followers consisted mostly of bots and confused strangers. Then came the final disaster. One evening Sarah live-streamed herself to reveal the truth. Over 10,000 people joined. She stood dramatically in front of a giant presentation board connected by red strings. Photos, printouts, charts, random receipts. A potato. Nobody knew why the potato was there. Not even Sarah. For 3 hours she explained how everything traced back to me. The package. The professor. The police. The weather. The stock market. A celebrity divorce in another country. Somehow all of it was supposedly my fault. At hour 3, she accidentally revealed she had never stopped recording Ethan's social media activities. For 3 years. Every post. Every comment. Every location tag. The internet immediately realized she had become a stalker. The live stream exploded. News outlets picked it up. The police picked it up. A restraining order followed. Then another. Then another. Her own lawyer quit. Publicly. By the time she finally disappeared from the internet, she had become a meme. Not a famous influencer. Not a successful socialite. A meme. The phrase pulling a Sarah entered campus slang. It meant destroying your own life through jealousy. Years later, Ethan and I married. We built a happy life together. One afternoon, while cleaning old boxes, I found the hidden camera that had captured everything. Ethan laughed. Should we throw it away? I smiled. Definitely. As we tossed it into the trash, our daughter looked up. Mommy, who's Sarah? Ethan nearly choked, trying not to laugh. I thought about the woman who had spent years trying to steal someone else's happiness instead of building her own. Then I shrugged. Nobody important. And somewhere, in a tiny rented apartment piled floor to ceiling with old conspiracy notes, 3 broken printers, 14 unopened self-help books, and one very suspicious potato, Sarah sneezed. Not knowing all the kinds of things she's breathing in.